maybe before
Hey,
the half.
that's a change of events. I can
The
interview
very
these
last
guys.
play of the first half.
Yeah.
It was a throwaway
Yeah.
throw.
For it. I got a couple.
We're too boring.
Is everybody ready?
Yeah.
All right, welcome to the post-game press conference. We've got Coach Hauck, quarterback Kris Brown, cornerback Justin Ford. As always, I got the microphone here, so if you have questions, please raise your hand. And we're going to start with some opening thoughts from Coach. Tougher than expected game, perhaps, but a good win for the Grizzlies.
Who says that? Maybe by you. I never approach anything that way. All right. It was an exciting, fun game to be a part of, and really glad to get the win. Certainly proud of our team to get challenged and then get challenged at halftime to come out and take the win, and that's what we did in the third quarter. So nothing unusual in terms of what they did. They gave us exactly what we thought they would, which was a tough fight, and I'm really excited that we're now 4-1 and ranked where we're going to be ranked on Monday.
Questions?
Coach, you mentioned the third quarter. What was the turning point? What did you think helped your team get a little bit of separation?
I don't think there's any. I think we just played better. You know, I don't think it was any one thing you'd ever point to. We had made plays in the first half and then not finished drives. So we finished some drives. Obviously, that was big. What one would say we need to do all the time, and certainly we have stuff to clean up. There's no doubt, but good by our guys.
Quite a few guys getting elevated levels of snaps, including Kris, but a bunch of other guys too. I mean, could you just talk about a lot of the young or maybe inexperienced guys that played this afternoon?
Yeah, certainly. There were a lot of guys playing today, a lot of plays that haven't played much. So I'll be anxious to see the film, see how we held up. You know, it was an interesting week to say the least, in terms of figuring out who was going to plug in where and how much guys were going to be available to play and how much practice they got. I mean, it was a rough week in that regard.
You said finishing drives was big in the second half there. Why were you guys able to finish those in the second half after not doing so in the first half?
We executed better.
Anything in particular you executed better on?
The runs and the passes, I suppose.
Do you think improved offensive line play in the second half? How much did that help you guys offensively?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you if they played worth a darn or not. I mean, we ran the ball pretty successfully, but I got to watch the film to know if they played well.
Coach, when you get to this point of the season, I remember talking about it with the bye week, kind of, coming a little early. And when it comes to rest versus rust, with some of the challenges you have of keeping guys out during the week, how difficult can that be to manage? And what's sort of your philosophy on keeping guys fresh versus making sure they're getting the reps in practice?
Keeping guys fresh, like, what do you mean?
Just like game ready, if they're kind of, nursing stuff during the week, how?
Well, yeah, I get that. That's easy. You don't practice, you don't get to play. If you're a starter, you don't practice, you don't play. You got to practice to play well. These are college guys. If you don't practice, you're not going to play well on Saturday. So sometimes, when you're down so many guys at certain spots, you can't hold guys. I mean, it is what it is, and that probably showed up a little bit today.
For Kris, if you could forget a stat sheet, what's the most valuable thing you learned today, being a young quarterback getting thrown in so fast?
Honestly, I would just say, maybe I didn't learn it today, but getting the win is the most important thing at the end of the day, and this team fought, and we came away with the W in the win-loss column sheet, so really important.
is for Kris or Coach. Let's talk about Xavier Harris. He had a great game last weekend, and today he was named player of the game. So just what is it like to have a guy like that on offense, knowing that he's going to show up and perform?
Got it. Who named him player of the game?
Someone did during the
PA announcer.
Oh,
Peter
he's making
Christian.
decisions. PA announcers making decisions now. Huh? Got it. Aside from that, I thought X did a good job. I thought he ran hard. There's a couple plays today where I thought he ran bigger than he is. I thought he finished some runs real physically, and I think 29 carries is probably too many. But that's hindsight. When the game's going on, we didn't really have a firm pulse on that. But that's a good game by him. He's ran the ball really well the last 2 weeks. They never make the left guard the player of the game. That's what we did in the locker room.
Kris, I think kind of the cliche is young quarterbacks, the game is fast and the more reps you get, it slows down. What was that like for you, kind of getting all those reps, and did you feel more and more comfortable as the game went on?
Yeah, I would say as the game went on, the game just kind of sorted itself out and started to slow down, and I was able to notice things that the defense was doing, and it was helpful to just be able to keep going out on the field and just see what I could see the looks that the defense was giving me, and definitely I would say over the time it just got easier.
Justin, how would you describe the performance of the defense today, and then especially kind of on your end and maybe with some of the DBs, knowing that some of the guys maybe up front a little bit banged up, dinged up, and how much you guys wanted to put that on yourselves to have a good performance?
Yeah, so as a defense, we kind of treat every team the same. Respect our opponents. I think we did a good job of that. Ultimately, didn't come away with a shutout. I wish we would have. But we played fast and physical, and a lot of it is credit to our coach. That's how we're coached, and preparation throughout the week, and I think we did a good job on our end.
This is back to Kris. After halftime, it seemed like the little swing plays a little underneath routes. Grossman, maybe you can talk a little bit about how he helped you out, helped the offense out. But just is that something you went over at halftime, or something that you saw that you knew would be open the second half?
No, I mean we didn't come up with those plays at halftime or anything. You know, we spent all week practicing them and just waiting for the right time to use them. And yeah, like you said, Grossman played great today. He got his touchdown, and helps having playmakers around you as a quarterback for sure.
Hey Justin, can you walk us through your interception in the end zone there, and then the fumble on the goal line?
Yeah, just trying to make a play for the team. I think the interception was after a quick turnaround in the red zone. So that's just kind of how we play. Go get the football at any chance. I wish I could have scooped and scored that one, but can't get everything back. So I think I just did a good job of doing that.
Kris, what was it like just getting back out there and playing, a full game? You play your whole life, and then you have to wait for a little while just to get out there and be able to play a full game like that. What was that experience like for you?
It was great. First time I started a game since high school, and just to be able to walk out on that field again, it was awesome. I love playing the game of football, and it's been a long time, so getting out there was awesome.
Coach, what's the progression that you want to see from Kris or from any young quarterback now that he's gotten his first start, he's played a full game? What do you want to see from him going forward?
Well, like all our guys, we want them to go play their best game the next week. And as soon as we leave you guys here today, we're gonna go start working on the next one. And so, correct mistakes, learn from them, play better, and that's lends itself to the quarterback position. There's a lot of moving parts, so it's managing the game, it's making the throws, it's getting the checks. I mean, all those things. And I thought he did just a fine job today. I was impressed with him. There's a lot going on, and as he just said, he hadn't started a game since high school, and it wasn't a simple game plan. We didn't simplify anything, and I thought he did a good job. And I think that he'll take correction this week and go play a great one next week. unless Cam makes it back. And we'll see.
Bobby, Dixie State was very good defensively. What did you see from them defensively?
You know, I thought they tackled well.
They did.
You know, they didn't give us anything we didn't plan, did they? Pretty much gave us what they planned. You know, leading up to it, I mentioned to y'all that I thought they were really sound in what they did, but I thought they played hard, and I thought they tackled really well. I thought that was a good football game. It was a good, fundamental, fun game to be a part of.
Mitch, maybe your left guard was the player of the game. Is that true? I mean, and if so, what did you think of Hunter McGinnis and his performance?
Well, it's kind of like, you know,
I get what you're saying.
Frank asked me that question. I
Yeah.
don't really know. I'll watch it tomorrow morning, but I got to go back and watch. But he caught my eye a couple of times.
Yeah.
You know.
Speaking of something that probably did catch your eye, what did you think when Justin lateraled it to Chase Lewis?
I remember what I said to him. Here's what I said. The fans love it, and I hate it. You decide who's you want the good favorite.
Justin, you seem to have a knack for making plays down on the goal line. I mean, I remember the interception against Cal Poly, the 2 plays today. Does your guys' mindset change on defense at all when the other team gets in the red zone, or is it easier to play defense there on the smaller field, or how have you been making those plays?
No. One thing I would say for sure, our defense tries to stay even killed. Every down is just as important. So just because they're in the red zone, we try to stop them from getting there. So now that they are there, we held a holdout head high on not allowing points. So it's just that much important. But we really go into everything with the same mindset. No matter who we're playing, it's just how we play.
Anybody else?
Tabes, you're just kind of off your game today.
I didn't get to be PA guy. That's the problem.
Might have had to get Hunter McGinnis in there if you didn't have today. Go ahead, Frank.
I know Keelan White was starting back there on punt, but then you guys went to Robbie. Can you just talk about that change? And then the play where he almost ran that back for a touchdown. What did you see on that play? And did you think he was going to break it off for a score there?
I did. I thought he was when he made the one guy miss in front of us. I thought he was going to score, and then So tripped him. Our guy tripped him, which is too bad, but that's the way it goes. I didn't think that on the first 2 when he wasn't in there, it wasn't good enough at the returner spot, so got fed up.
And then the fake field goal. What was the thought process behind going for that? And what happened? Was the play run as it was supposed to, or what happened?
You know, I'll have to look at it, see if we got it right, but they sniffed it out. Good play by them.
And just one more for Justin. I know you've transferred around a bit, but coming into the season, how long had it been since you played in a game and played in like constant games like this, like you have the first several weeks?
One thing I think that helped was our 2-game spring season. I kind of knew the defense already, but you really don't know until you go play a game with a group of guys. So I felt like I was comfortable in those 2 games, and then now I think we're just rolling as a team, and just really like sticking together as a group.
Yeah, now I have a question. No, Bobby, if we can go back just 1 week, you had the flag field against Eastern, and I wondered if that wasn't supposed to be a fake, if you wouldn't mind answering that.
Keep wondering.
Anybody else?
Bobby, back into Big Sky Conference play now, so I know you haven't really looked at
Some
yep.
of the, you know, this is about today and next week and the next week, you know. Go ahead, sorry.
Regardless of the opponent next week, just back into Big Sky Conference play. So your thoughts on being back now into Big Sky play for the foreseeable future?
Man, you're like Tabor. You ain't gonna let me enjoy this at all. Yeah, we're gonna enjoy this one. We're gonna go eat some dinner and watch some games, and then we're back into it early tomorrow morning. And you know, as was mentioned, it's kind of an interesting week for a non-league game, but we're back into it next week, and we gotta go get it. So we'll be excited for practice on Monday, and we'll be excited to prepare all week, and we'll be excited to play next weekend.
Last one.
Last one. So, you mentioned the FCS upsets that happened earlier today. I was curious, just several weeks into the season, you get into watch games. What's your view of the landscape of the FCS this season so far?
Oh, I always kind of feel like you don't really have you don't even know your own team till you get to 1st October. So I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I'd be way willing to talk about it later in the week for sure. I mean, that's just I saw the scores. That's it. I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think what does get shown and showed up last week in our game, and then showed up today, is the anybody you're playing can beat you. That's just the way it is, and the best teams don't always win. And good on those teams that won today, including us.